So what's it really like living in Colombia long term? I've spent over a year living here, not just visiting, but living here long term in multiple cities such as Medellín, Cali, Santa Marta, Rionegro, and now I am in Bucaramanga. And let me tell you, Colombia is one of the most fascinating, beautiful, diverse countries that you can live in. It's quite literally a playground for adventure. But at the same time, it's also not perfect. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the real pros and cons that you should know if you're planning on moving to Colombia in 2025. And by the way, if you're planning on moving to Latin America and you want some help building a custom plan step by step, then go ahead and fill out the form linked in the description. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now let's get into the video. All right, let's start with the pros. So pro number one, Colombia is a place where nature and adventure is literally everywhere, okay? So if you're someone who loves hiking, you love waterfalls, national parks, beaches, Colombia is going to be a dream, right? I was in Medellín. A lot of places you can go outside of Medellín. There's also Bucaramanga, where it's the city of parks. There's a lot of waterfalls, a lot of things you could do for day trips. If you're in Santa Marta, you have obviously the beaches. You have Tayrona National Park along the coast. This country is literally an outdoor playground for whatever you like. If you're a little more adventurous, you can go to the Amazonas. And even outside of Cali, I mean, I was, the beach is about 4 hours away from Cali, driving. So there's a place called Buenaventura, which is a coastal town. And then 1 hour from a boat from Buenaventura, you can go to different islands like Huanchaco, where you can have the entire beach to yourself, where they have different resorts, different hostels to experience some cool nightlife or some cool treks. This is a place where a lot of people don't go. So no matter where you are in the country, again, nature and adventure and parks is just going to be literally everywhere. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. Another pro is the perfect weather options that you have available to you. Okay, so depending on what you like, I'm someone who likes spring-like weather. I like being in t-shirts. I like being in jeans. I like being in long sleeve, wearing whatever I want, basically, right? Is that type of weather. Like at night, it gets perfect. It gets maybe like low to mid 70s. You like that type of weather. You want to be inland. You want to be in a place like Medellín or Bucaramanga. If you like more summer type weather, where it's maybe 80s, but not super humid either, not like Boston summers or Florida summers, you can be in a place like Cali, where it's consistent summer weather all year round. Or if you like a little cooler, there's places you can go to such as Bogota or Pasto, where it's more fall-like weather. So Colombia is one of the few countries that offers whatever climate that you like. Literally just choose what it is that you like, pick the right city, spend most of your time there, and then whenever you want to experience something different, you can just visit. And there's another pro that I'll get to that allows you to do that very affordably. Now, another pro is the low cost of living. So I've done so many videos on Colombia and cost of living videos with different cities that I've been to. Rent's super affordable here. Food's affordable. Groceries are affordable. Ubers are very affordable. $2 to $3 for a one-way Uber if you need it. If you're living in a walkable area, you won't need it that much. Only when you do excursions outside the city if you want to go to different zones. But you can live very well here, guys, on a very, very modest income. If you're someone who's living off your pension or SSI or investments, maybe you're earning modestly like 2 to 3K per month. You can still live a really good life here in Colombia for that income. Or if you're a remote worker, maybe you have an online skill or an online business, you're earning in US dollars. Well, guess what? Your dollars are gonna go probably at least, I'd say 3.5 to 4 times more than what you're used to in the States. So if you're earning, let's say $3,000 a month, which barely affords you a survival lifestyle in the United States. I know at least in Massachusetts or Boston, that's like you need roommates with that income. Well, in Colombia, it's as if you're earning like $9,000 to $10,000 a month, right? Just by switching locations. So you have a really good cost of living here in Colombia that's going to give you a really good quality of life. Next thing I like about Colombia is the Cyclovia culture. All right, so most of the Colombian cities do this. I found Medellín does it, Bucaramanga does it, I believe Cali does it more on the southern side. What they do is they close down the major streets every Sunday in the morning up until noon so that families can walk around with their kids, so that people can bike, so that people can run, you can rollerblade. There's farmers markets, there's vendors. It's a really good health conscious thing to do every Sunday. Personally, I participate in it and I go for runs every Sunday in the morning. And then we go out to coffees, maybe you meet up with some people, right? This type of culture is something that I didn't really see in the US, where you close down streets and again, you're going for runs and bikes and treks or whatever it is that you want. But I love that culture here in Colombia. It's something that I do every single Sunday. All right. Then in terms of nightlife, I mean, Colombia has amazing nightlife, right? If you're in Medellín, it's a big reggaeton culture, a lot of different clubs for that. If you're in Cali, it's more salsa. You have a ton of different salsa spots. You also have one of the best clubs in Latin America and all over the world. It's a world-class club called Pergola, where it has a lot of different rooms. Like just pick your style of music, your genre, and it's going to have it for you. So Colombia is known for being a heavy dance nightlife place. So if you're someone who loves to dance, you love to go out at night, then just choose your city. There's some cities that are more chill and relaxed than others. Like where I am now is a little more chill and relaxed. But if you want to go to other cities where it's more vibrant at night, then Colombia is going to give you that as well. And then here's what I was alluding to earlier in the video. So if you're someone who loves nature, you love traveling all over the country, right, to experience everything that this country can offer you, it's very inexpensive to travel domestically. All right, just a single flight one way is going to cost you less than $50. Like from here to Medellin, less than $50. I believe if I want to go to Bogota or even Santa Marta, round trip is going to be maybe $100, right? So compare that to the US, where when I'm in Miami, okay, to visit friends there, just going from the airport to the hotel in Brickell cost me $60 just one way. So compare that in Colombia, where a flight can take me anywhere in the country that I want to go to for less than a 20 to 25-minute Uber ride in Miami. All right, just think about that. So whether it's beaches in Santa Marta or Cartagena, whether it's mountains, whether it's the coffee region, maybe you want to check out the Amazonas, maybe you want to go to a tourist place like Medellin or Bogota, anywhere you want to travel to, it's very affordable to travel domestically via plane, which makes weekend getaways really a no-brainer and very easy to do. Now, a big plus why many men, single men, travel to Colombia is because the women here are beautiful, they're feminine, they're a little spicy, they have that personality to them. So this part's a little objective, right? Because not everyone likes Latina women, but in my opinion, man, Colombian women are some of the most beautiful, most feminine, best personalities and a woman in the entire world. And me personally, I mean, I do love Latina women. I do love their energy. I love their curves. I love their passion. I love their femininity. Now, every city does have its own vibe. Like you'll find that women from Cali are a little different from women from Medellin, like even the way they speak, and are a little different from Bucaramanga. So each one's a little different, but when you're in Colombia, beauty is going to be all around you. So if you're a single guy, your dating life is going to be really good here. It's definitely a perk being a heterosexual male in Colombia. Another big reason, another big pro when it comes to Colombia is the welcoming culture. Okay, Colombians in general are extremely friendly. They're extremely welcoming to foreigners. Just jump into any Uber ride, guys. Ask him any questions, and he's going to give you answers. He's going to want to help you, right? And a big reason for this is because, and I've had these conversations with like people I've met here, locals. People in Colombia want you to feel welcome because if they were to be in your country or another country, they themselves would want someone to welcome them, right? They actually follow the golden rule here. So no matter where you go, I mean, some towns, some cities, I think are more warmer than others. I think climate has to do with it too. You'll find that a lot of Colombians say that the people in Bogota son más frío, they're more colder, like in terms of personality. I think that's because it's a much bigger city, right? So it's a lot more busy. It's also a colder climate, and I think when you're in a place that's a colder climate, leads to colder people. When you're in a warmer climate, leads to warmer people. It's just been my experience. So different cities will offer you different welcomeness, we'll say, but really anywhere in Colombia, you're going to feel very welcome. You're going to feel good being a foreigner in their country. And then the last pro that I'll mention in this video is that it's easy to stay here long-term if you want to, okay? It's not difficult like in some other countries. So in Colombia, the tourist system, the tourist visa is very flexible, right? You stay here for 3 months. If you want to stay longer, you just extend your visa for a very, very affordable price. It's just like $35 as of this year to stay for another 3 months, right? So that's 6 months in total. Not every country is going to offer you that, right? Where it's just an easy extension. Also, if you want to stay here for a year, like a lot of guys, when they want to live here for a year without having to do like a student visa or maybe a digital nomad visa or retiree visa, whatever it is, you can stay here for a year. If you arrive in, let's say, August, you stay until the new year of January. And then Colombia, it actually resets. So you get another 6 months basically, right? So that gives you an entire year in one country, just basically as a tourist, okay? Not every country is going to offer you that, so it's very flexible to stay here long-term if you plan it out correctly. Now let's talk some cons, because obviously no country is perfect, and Colombia is not the exception. So you do have to be a little more safety conscious, in my opinion, in Colombia, okay? Now, I've been to several different countries, right? I've never had anything happen to me, right? Call it luck, call it skill, whatever it is you want to call it. Never been mugged, drugged, none of that stuff, okay? So while I've never had any issues personally, I have seen some things, all right? Specifically in Medellín, I've seen some murder scenes amongst locals. I've seen, I've heard of many people getting robbed, even killed, right, from drugging, mainly in the tourist cities, mainly very, very short-term tourists that happens to. In the past, I'm not even sure if that's a thing now. They kind of crack down a bit on that now. But even here, like where I am now in a mid-sized city, I've seen, on one occasion, I saw two guys fighting with knives, right? Looking to stab each other outside of a centro comercial, outside of like a shopping mall, right? Now, neither person got hurt. And keep in mind, all these incidents were isolated, right? Meaning it happened amongst locals. Maybe one person was trying to rob from the other. Maybe someone, I don't know, cheated on the other. I don't know. I have no idea what went on. But it wasn't targeted towards foreigners, okay? So me, I see that. I walk right past there. I was going to the gym. I just walked right past that scene. Nothing happened to me. I feel very safe here. Just once in a while, you might see something a little crazy like that in Colombia is all I'm saying. So you might want to keep your gut up a little bit. And I've done a lot of videos on staying safe in Colombia. So be sure to check some of those videos out. I even put some more tips in here. Like, you just be more aware, especially in the touristy cities like Medellín or Cartagena. Don't be flashy, right? Don't walk expensive jewelry, necklaces, watches. Don't get drunk at 2 a.m. Don't walk alone at night. Use Ubers at night, right? When possible. You want to avoid walking alone at night in certain streets at certain times. Avoid acting desperate for you know what. And if you do all this stuff, guys, you'll probably be just fine. Another con is time is not as respected or appreciated here, okay? So what do I mean by that? Colombia is a culture where it's more chill. They work to live. It's not live to work, right? So they want to enjoy their lives. They take their time with things. So that also means that people don't always show up on time, right? Let's say you have a cleaner coming to clean your apartment. Good chance that she'll probably show up a little later than you guys agree to, maybe 15, maybe 30 minutes later. Sometimes it could be an hour, who knows? Or if you're going on a first date with a new woman, right? Maybe you agree on a specific time. More than likely, she's going to show up later than what you expected. Now, there are ways to mitigate that where you can save yourself time that I share in other videos. I won't go deep into that here. But what I'm saying is, in Colombia, you can expect some delays, right? Whether it's cleaners, appointments, first dates, deliveries. Just be flexible, just be patient. And eventually, you might find that you actually like the lifestyle here because it's very different from your fast pace of life where you're originally from. At least that's been my experience. And then the last con that I'll mention is that bureaucracy can be a little bit of a hassle here, all right? So dealing with visas, dealing with paperwork, like this stuff can get a little confusing, could be inconsistent even. I remember doing the extension visa in Colombia 2 years in a row, just fine, very smooth, not anything crazy that you had to do. But now this year, it changed, okay? And if you're not doing something like specifically how they want you to do it, they're gonna deny your application. Sometimes they might want you to go into the office. So then you go into the office, they tell you, oh, did you book an appointment? Oh, you should have booked an appointment, but it didn't tell you that online. Things like that, which can be frustrating. But keep in mind, it's just one time. Like when you're dealing with visas, paperwork, anything like that, it's just one time you have to go through that. I recommend working with a professional if it's like a longer term visa, of course, right? It's just gonna make your life easier. So it can be slow and frustrating, but that's life generally speaking in Latin America. You just gotta roll with the punches, and once it's done, so it's not a big deal. So final thoughts, living in Colombia for over a year has been one of the best decisions I've made, okay? I love this country. I plan on being here every year for probably a few months out of the year, more like my second country that I like to be in. I love the lifestyle, the weather, the nature, the people, the things to do, right? Even the food culture here. And I have very fond memories and experiences here in Colombia that I know when I'm 80 years old, 90 years old, maybe 100, I'm gonna look back on my memories here in Colombia with a smile on my face. So that said, it's not perfect, as I mentioned. If you're someone who's looking to come here, just be prepared, know how to move smart, know how to move in general, maybe speak to someone who's been here before you actually make the move or you want to spend some time here. It'll make your transition much smoother. And if you do those things that I mentioned in this video, I'm sure that Colombia is going to be well worth it for you as well if you're coming here for an extended period of time. So I hope that video was helpful for you guys. Was it worth it here, staying over a year in Colombia? Absolutely. I would do it all over again. And I think moving forward, Colombia is a country that I see myself spending at least a few months out of the year moving forward. And if you're someone who wants to come to Colombia, or maybe it's a different country, Latin America, and you want some help creating a plan to move abroad, again, whether that's Colombia, Paraguay, Peru, Guatemala, maybe somewhere else, then I can definitely help. All you have to do is just fill out the quick form in the description. I'll personally review it and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or if you just want to watch more similar videos to this one, then go ahead and click this one right here and I'll see you there.